Hello everyone, I'm Maurice Ashley and welcome to Game 11 of the FIDE World Championship Dubai 2021. Well, Games 8 and 9 saw something incredible happen. Nepomniachtchi, one of the best players in the world, blundered a pawn and then followed it up with blundering a piece, something he could never have imagined in his worst nightmare. In Game 10, he decided to play a very solid draw and make sure that he righted the ship. However, now he's only got 4 games left to make up a 3-point gap as the champion looks to win it all if he wins today. What will Nepomniachtchi do in Game 11? Will he go all out, playing a vicious attacking game, or will he press pause and be somewhat cautious and pick his spots? It will be a very tall order as the champion shows that he can handle anything that is thrown at him. Later, we will also talk to living legend Judith Polgar, the greatest female player in the history of the sport, and we hear some of her thoughts about her playing days and what it's like after retirement. We'll also hear some opinions from the fans on the epic series, The Queen's Gambit, that has changed the trajectory of chess forever. Let's get started with Game 11.
Today, more than ever, when the world comes together to create a better tomorrow.
It's going to be magic.
Oh,
La magie. Magic. Magic with music.
With architecture.
With colors.
Magic with celebration.
With your safety.
From here.
There.
And everywhere.
For 6 whole months, day and night.
Join the making of a new world, starting October 1st.
Want to play chess but don't know how to get started? Try chess.com. Play for free against someone at your level or challenge one of our friendly computer bots. Trying to improve your chess? Learn the Queen's Gambit and other openings with guided interactive lessons. Like chess but don't want the pressure of playing games? Chess.com has hundreds of thousands of fun puzzles to help you relax and sharpen your mind. Play your friends, make new ones around the world, follow the latest games and more. Sign up and play for free at chess.com today.
I think Magnus is a very special world champion, and I think the chess community, and we can be very proud of him. For several reasons, because obviously all chess champions are very unique, special characters, but some of them are more active, some are less active, some don't have a huge team behind them. But I think Magnus is a very unique champion for several reasons. First of all, he has a very nice family. Very special father who is in the front and he represents him in a very charming way. And he's fortunate to have this background. Also, there are a lot of people around him, the company and so on and so forth. He's, I think, the most honest world champion who is out there. When you hear him talking in press conferences, interviews, he says what he thinks. Even though sometimes you don't like what he says, but this is what he thinks. So he's very authentic. He's an incredible chess magician, we can say, in positional play, in tactics, just as a whole. He's so rounded player, and it's so interesting to see him also to play different positions, and especially the magic, how he provokes the mistake from the opponent.
Today I feel very optimistic. Chess is a game of multiple chances. There is no winner until there is a winner, and so I feel like Nepo is really going to come in as strong as he can.
I think this game will result most likely in a draw, perhaps a win for Magnus, but the match is basically over, is what I think.
Talking about today's game, I truly believed before that Nepo had some chances today still, because he's a good chess player, and well, he can do it.
I think that coming into today, Magnus is going to win this match. And because Nepo is 3 whole points down, and in 4 games to get 4 wins and recover this championship and win, I think it's like nearly impossible. the way Nepo has been playing the more defensive style I've seen, and this new hairstyle, I don't know if it's done some damage to him.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am Maurice Ashley, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the FIDE World Championship Dubai 2021. With the white pieces, from Russia, Nepomniachtchi. With the black pieces, the world champion from Norway, Magnus Carlsen. We have a special guest with us today, an ambassador to Algorand, the official blockchain partner of FIDE, Adi Mishra. Adi will be making the first move, please. And with that, let the game begin. Time to start this critical game 11 of this match. Nepo with the white pieces. He's running out of time. He's got 4 games to go, and he's got to win 3 of them to equalize the match against Magnus. This will be a tall order indeed for anyone, but he's facing off against one of the greatest chess players in history as Magnus adjusts all his pawns and some of his pieces, it looks like, before playing a natural move. Pawn to e5. That's pretty solid. Magnus knows if he draws the rest of the way, this is going to be easy. He's going to win this match with no problem. In fact, he only needs 2 draws to win it all. Knight to c6, typical defensive move. We've seen the Spanish so far. And now bishop c4 for the first time in the match. We're seeing the Italian game, and Magnus knows that Nepo has prepared this, but Magnus is prepared as well, quickly playing knight out to f6, and Nepo playing the move pawn to d3. And this is all classical stuff that they have memorized. The gamesmanship will have to wait until a little bit later, but Magnus will settle himself as he knows this is something that Nepo could have played. Well, Magnus is not waiting at all, in fact. Bishop out to c5, and it is Nepo's turn now as he wants to show confidence. He definitely wants to let Magnus know that he has prepared and is ready to take him on, and we see the quiet game. The pawn moves to c3, and potential threat of pushing the pawn to d4 in this position. But there are many moves here for black, and Magnus just thinking a little bit before playing the move pawn to d6, opening up a line for his bishop to come into the game. So Nepo will be paying some attention to that, but he's not worried about anything. He's just castled pretty quickly here, showing that he's still well in his preparation. And Magnus now playing the move a5. Now that is something of an unusual move, stopping a pawn from going to b4 and attacking his bishop and giving his bishop a little bit of space to be able to drop back. Nepo will have to give some thought to this move, no doubt about it, as it's somewhat unusual. You can see it there in Nepo's eyes that this is a move that he has to pay attention to. We're now on the 9th move, and Nepo has responded well. We think he should play an aggressive move here, knight to b5, and attack the bishop. Put that knight up the board. Whoa, he's dropped the knight back to c2. That's not aggressive. That's not the kind of move you think he should want to play as Magnus returns to the board. He needs to win. He needs to be far more aggressive than he is being right now. And that knight dropping back instead of going forward, that's not something that's going to scare Magnus too much. And you see Magnus instantly moving, castling right away. That shows confidence, certainly on his part, that last move by Nepo was not dangerous. But Nepo playing quickly, now offering a trade of bishops. Usually not a bad idea, but the more trades, the merrier is what you would think. But now he's gotten up from the board, looks very confident, and has left Magnus to think about this idea. We'll see. Can Magnus respond in a way that makes sure that Nepo gets no advantage whatsoever?
If everybody in the
It's Expo 2020.
loved everybody in the world, what a glorious world this could be.
culture, the music, the artwork. It's the people.
Come on and join us. A new world is just beginning.
The series of Queen's Gambit, it was amazing. It's the best thing could happen to chess. As a whole, I loved it for several reasons. First of all, it's extremely well done, very authentic chess-wise, the games itself, the environment of chess, tournament, playing condition. It was amazing to see how Anya, then later on I was talking to her, I had a little chat, and she explained me that, well, for her it's a choreography, she doesn't play chess. It was even more amazing for me that the way she was playing blitz, she was playing the simultaneous and so on.
I think the impact that the Queen's Gambit has had on chess is fundamental to its current renaissance all over the world.
I think the Queen's Gambit is so good because the character of Beth Harmon is something which I see in the players nowadays.
It's nice to see that it's not political, it's not a horror, it's nothing, it's a character development.
I thought it was a very well produced movie. The cinematography was great. I thought it was good for chess.
And the colors, the development, how the story unfolded. It was funny that sometimes some people called me up and said, congratulations. Because, yeah, there were some things which you can figure out that it could be me as well.
Absolutely love the fact that there is a female character who plays the lead, because I believe that in so many spaces like chess, female players aren't represented. And when I myself met Judith Polgar, I was inspired because I had heard about her from seeing the Queen's Gambit first.
Yes, it was of course a nice feeling that I'm also kind of part of it. Not in the series, but the people who know me and they Google, is there a real one out there? So I was enjoying a lot the curiosity which was coming from everybody who had nothing to do with chess before. And it was so huge that I think it also stays there a little bit, which is of course amazing.
Right now, I think Nepo still has some really good pieces on the board. I hope that he has the mindset and the belief in himself to come as strong as he can. I'm still cheering him on and hoping for the best.
I think Nepo has decent chances. This game is basically at an even keel, but hopefully he'll be able to find some speculative moves to steer the game into a more complicated position so that he can increase his chances to win.
The jacket's off for Magnus as he has been navigating some tricky waters so far by Nepo, trying to confuse him, but it looks as though he's got a good position and he's playing pawn to d5. That kind of pawn break, whenever black can play it safely, it usually means that he has a good game. This is the typical one, and Nepo coming back to the board. Not sure what he's going to do about this move because it just looks like it releases all of the tension and gives black a very decent game indeed. Nepo with the weight of the world on him right now, and he's just stopping to think for a moment, and instantly he's banged down the move pawn to d4, and now those pawns are all touching each other, and Nepo getting up from the board. He keeps getting up. This cannot be good as you see a focused Magnus, and Magnus now capturing that pawn on d4. That looks like a good idea. Nepo now coming back. No doubt he was thinking about these moves while in his rest area, but you would think he should be sitting at the board. I mean, if you don't really focus at the board, you could make mistakes, but he seems to be confident that it's okay. He can just work it out in his head, and he's captured the pawn on d5, attacking Magnus's rook. That's a serious move indeed. No question about it. Magnus seems to have a couple of options, and there goes Nepo again, leaving the board at such a crucial stage in a World Championship match. That just cannot be good policy, and it's cost him before. Will it cost him again as we see Magnus move his rook to the center of the board out of the attack of that pawn, and it's Magnus's turn to get up from the board. Pretty confusing the way these two players are handling this situation as we see Nepo come back. He's got to stay focused. He's got to get his head in this game, because if he loses this game, the match is over. The match is over and done. So he has to be careful with every single move that he plays. And now it looks like he's playing queen to c2, attacking the rook. Fair enough move. That rook is now under pressure. And is he going to get up again? He's getting up again. Unbelievable. This is simply surreal. I cannot believe a player at this level just keeps walking away from the table as though he does not want to be at the same table with Magnus at any point. Incredible. Just an incredible display. And now it's Magnus's turn as he sees his rook is under attack. It's likely that he'll move it off that square, just get it out of danger. And now the rook is moved over to f4. It's safe on that square for the moment. I don't know about this position. It's looking very drawish. Seems as though White has to play rook takes on d4 now, and that will offer some trades. That's not the kind of position that Nepo wants. More trades are just going to lead to simplification, and it's going to make it easier for Magnus to draw. And if he draws this game, then he just needs a draw in the next game, and the match is over. So Nepo's back, he's up against the wall. He's certainly nervous. He's got to be butterflies in his stomach as he tries to figure out how to save this match. Not a great situation for him. He looks a little bit frustrated. Magnus looks totally focused on the moment, but if you've got to take rook takes d4 and accept the draw, what can you do? He'll have 3 games left, and he'll have to win all 3. And he's played a move g3, pawn to g3. That can't be right. That looks like an incredible blunder. Magnus cannot believe it. This could be the match. This could be it as Magnus stays focused. This could be the championship right here, right now.
Today, more than ever, when the world comes together to create a better tomorrow.
It's going to be magic. Oh,
La magie.
Magic. Magic with music.
with architecture.
With colors.
Magic with celebration.
With your safety.
From here.
There.
And everywhere.
For 6 whole months, day and night.
Join the making of a new world, starting October 1st.
If everybody in the
It's Expo 2020.
loved everybody in the world, what a glorious world this could be.
It's the culture, the music, the artwork. It's the people.
Come on and join us. A new world is just beginning.
I retired from competitive chess in 2014 at the Tromsø Olympiad, where we won the silver medal with the male team. And ever since, I'm focusing on promoting chess, especially chess in education, because I do believe that that is a huge opportunity for the world, for the classrooms, for teachers, for kids, for the next generation to have a better thinking skills. And I do with my foundation generally promoting the game. I do a lot of commentary, especially in the World Championship match or some very exclusive events, which obviously I enjoy a lot because I know all the inside outs, how the players feel, what they think, and I can share my insights, what I've went through in more than 3 decades of my career. So I'm happy in this role to promote the game and show the nice and promising, prosperative side of it.
Magnus with an incredible chance to blow his opponent off the board. He just needs to maintain his cool as Nepo has inexplicably blundered once again. And Magnus knows this is it, and there he goes. He's taking the knight, willingly giving away his rook. But that's going to be no big deal as White's king is going to be opened up like a can of sardines. Nepo back to the table, and he's going to have to capture that rook. No question about it, as he's just lost a piece. You can't give away a piece at this level. So he will take the rook for sure, and he's done so. And Magnus, without waiting at all, rips the pawn off, says check to the king. The queen just blasting open that king side. The king's got to move. There's nothing else to do. His king moves over to F1. Looks like it's trying to run, but it's going to run into Black's pieces. Black is just surrounding him, and Nepo is getting up from the board again. He's disgusted. He does not want to see this position. He's hoping Magnus makes some kind of mistake, but the world champions got him, and queen to H3 with check. Running will not help because then the pawn will be taken, and that's just going to open up the position. Nepo back at the board now, and we would expect him to come back towards the queen. There's really no choice here, and it looks like Magnus can just win by taking the pawn and then bringing his rook into the game. Can bring his rook up after capturing this pawn. Nepo again leaving. Magnus studying the position, taking the pawn with check, and then bringing his rook up. That's certainly winning. He has other ways to win, but that's the easiest way. No question about it. We should expect to see Magnus take this pawn and go towards his 5th championship, and instead he's played knight to F5. I don't understand why he would play that move. It's good enough, maybe, but is he giving Nepo a chance? This move looks a little bit strange. Instead of just capturing and then bringing the rook up, you needed to bring the rook up. I can't believe Magnus did this move. It looks like he's still winning, though. Should be no problem. And Nepo playing the move pawn to D6. This is definitely an interesting move, slowing things down and not allowing the rook to come up, because if it takes the pawn, then the white rook will capture it. And you can see Magnus there. No, he's made a mistake in the execution of this attack. He's still completely winning, but he knows he's made a little bit of a mistake. He's going to have to shut things down. We're now in move 30, and it looks like Magnus did not play as accurately as he should have to get the winning attack, but he still played good enough moves, and there's a check to the white king. That king is running nowhere. That king could move, but it would not help, and now he's offered a trade of queens. Is this going to slow things down? I think Magnus is going to be happy with this, and he's trading queens. Quickly, we see the trades there, and now we can expect to see the knight take the rook. That is going to be a good move. Of course, a rook is more valuable than a knight, so knight takes rook will be played, and there it goes. Magnus capturing, and rook takes, and Magnus is confident in his endgame technique. When he plays rook takes pawn now, he's going to be ahead by only a pawn, but at this level, with this kind of simplification, this is as good as death. And there it is, rook takes pawn, and Magnus in complete control of this position. This is definitely winning. With the kind of technique Magnus has, Nepo can almost resign now. The last 10 moves, Magnus has been showing his incredible technique, and he's taking the pawn with check, and Nepo capturing that pawn there on B6. Nepo looks like he has an even number of pawns, but it's not going to help because of this spectacular move by Magnus. Check, giving away his rook, sacrificing his rook for just one move, because he's going to get a huge queen, and there it is. That queen is going to be a monster, and Nepo trying to push his pawn and make a queen himself, that's going to be useless, because Black's the one with a queen on the board now. The queen well centralized. It's going to harass all of White's pieces no matter what he does, and we see his king hiding there because that queen was going to check the king and pick off the rook, but that is simply not going to help. Just too powerful is this queen, and there we go, check to the king. Magnus wants to use the queen to harass the king, put fear in the heart of the rook, and also pick off all the pawns. That's the kind of beast this queen is going to be, and the king now hiding in the corner, just groveling, hoping for some mistake by Magnus, but Magnus is just too cool a customer. He knows he's got his opponent dead to all rights, and now even a calm, cool king move like that one will win the game. He's just setting him up for the victory. And rook to b6, I'm not sure what that does exactly. Magnus seems to have various moves. He can capture a pawn. He can play Queen to c5, that attacks the pawn that can't push because he'll lose the rook. That's game. Nepo has resigned, and Magnus Carlsen has won his 5th championship title, one for the ages, one of the greatest players of all time, showing why he is indeed the king of chess.
You know, these things which happened here, they never happened to me in basically any events. Okay, in my career I lost quite some stupid games, yeah, but you know, not as many in such a few time.
Very happy, of course. Didn't expect it to go quite like this. I think it was just very good professional performance overall. Just no regrets at all. Just very satisfied.
Thank you, Jan, for your tremendous fighting spirit. Magnus, congratulations. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.